Namaste, Sakshi, Manasakshi. I am Priya Goteti. Welcome to Immigration Talk Show with English solicitor Dr. Srinivas Kaveti from Kaveti Law Firms. Please note that now Sakshi TV has 5 immigration shows: Monday with Somi Reddy Law Firms, Tuesday with Kaveti Law Firms, Wednesday with Prashanti Reddy, Thursday with Chand Parvataneni, and Friday with Banu Ilender. Please tune in to ask your questions. If you are an immigration attorney and would like to join our special shows, please email us at usa@sakshi.com or call us at 866-725-7441. Before we begin the show, please note that this information provided on this show is not a legal advice. It's just for general information purpose only. Sakshi TV or its agents are not responsible for use of this information. For any special legal advice, please contact the attorney directly. Without any further delay, let's invite English solicitor Dr. Srinivas Kaveti Garu onto our show. Hello, Andy. Hi, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Andy. Thanks for having me, Priya.
And firstly, Kaveti Garu, a hearty congratulations for grand opening of new branches in UK.
Thank you, Amma. We have opened it in Leicester and London also.
Wow.
We wanted to cater the English clients, those who go from India to England, and even in England and Wales also. There's another country next to UK. We are catering to the client's needs in England and Wales, Andy. So lawyers in England are called solicitors. I had a license to practice law in 2003. So I renewed myself and we are back in the business. We have clients, so there are a lot of demands from clients saying that come and open it. So we opened it finally. So I was there last week and I just came back.
Wow, I think you have more than like clients across 200 countries, correct?
Not 200 countries, but at least in 3 continents to 4 continents we have clients from Australia, Canada, US, India, America, of course, and that. So we have signed some agreements, and we are helping some students to come to UK, and we have signed some contracts with local universities, UK. I visited even Cambridge on that aspect. Mala, second thing is what is happening in UK, especially mana students. So they're going, thousands of students going to UK after their master's completion. They need to get a visa, just like in America, H-1B visa. In UK, there's a visa called Tier 2 visa. Most of the companies, when they're starting in UK, all these companies who are sponsoring these Indian students or any students that matter, they're charging 25 lakhs just for sponsoring them. Can you believe it? And it's a big scam in UK. And after going there, I found out that, and solicitor's fees is only a couple of £1,000. So I wanted to give advices to our clients, Akada, so that we don't have to pay 25 lakhs any. So, but there's a big scam going on there in that country. And after living 5 years, they can apply for a green card, leave to indefinite leave until it's a PR. In Canada, you call permanent residency. In Australia, it's called permanent residency. In New Zealand, Logoda. In US, we call it a green card. UK law, it's called indefinite to leave. Ante you are living there permanently. So you can only apply yourself. Once you stay there for 5 years on a work permit and you pay a payroll and you're qualified, you can apply on your own. Ikkada America law 15, 17 years is a waiting period for H-1Bs, right? So over there, once you live there for 5 years on a work permit, you can just basically get your PR and then live there permanently. And once you be there and you stay there for a couple of years, 2-3 years, you can become citizen of that country. So that is the beauty of UK. And they're spending a lot of money. They're trying to stay there, trying to get a job. And unfortunate other things, what I'm saying, Priya, IT jobs are very less, but jobs are there in nursing homes and medical doctors, nurses, and different professions. But IT jobs are very less. But still, students are going. They want to stay there for 5 years, get their green card, become citizens, and settle there. The beauty. The second beauty, what they have, for example, if you're a student, you're going as a student. For example, if students are coming to America on an F1, the students who go to UK on a student visa, their wife can come to UK and apply a work permit. They can come and work full time. ఆ బెనిఫిట్ మనకు US లో లేదు. That's the reason a lot of students are going to UK and their spouses are going and working full time. And even the kids can access public funds. They can go to public schools, they can get an insurance there, and spouse can get an insurance. When we go to benefits, that's what people are going there actually on a student visa. The other beauty is they don't have to go for an interview for a student visa. You put it in a box and వాళ్ళు వీసా స్టాంప్ చేసి ఇండియా పంపిస్తారు. ఇంటికి పంపిస్తారు. So that's another beauty there, that you don't have to go to the embassy for interview purposes. That's another beauty. The second thing, even for the work permit, if you have a work permit approved from the Department of Home, ఇక్కడ immigration, అక్కడ Department of Home అంటారు. You just make an application online and you submit your passport in the in-house akkade UK lo. They will stamp your passport and you pick it up in a few weeks time, and there's no interview. And if there's anything is there, they'll call the employer or the solicitors who apply. So that's another beauty there. So the regulations are a little relaxed akkada, and that's the reason tons and tons of students are going there. The other beautiful thing is once you get indefinite leave akkada, then you can also, once you become a British national, you can go and work in other European countries, which is not difficult. And it is the second most powerful passport on the earth, British passport. So people are also going there and struggling for 5 years. All these things, of course, I know as a lawyer, but when I saw it physically, I said, "Oh my God!" So our services are required, Any, I was there. So we did some. We met a lot of clients in Leicester. We met a lot of clients in London, and because there's a big business happening, then human rights are very high, and immigration, they cannot kick you out even if you're out of status. It goes for years and years, and they also get work permit to work and a political asylum file just there, because human rights are very high in Europe, compared with US. That's another thing they have. And even the spouses also, they have a right to work. That's a beautiful thing. For example, if the husband gets a work permit tier 1, tier 2 visa, the as wife can also work full time. That's another beauty. Ikkalaga I-140 have to be approved, all of that, all those legal jargon ledu. So that's where people are more inclined to go to UK and then coming to US. I mean, I saw thousands and thousands of students there, which is amazing, which is good. Yeah.
So, Kaveti gar, apart from the student visas or work visas, what other types of visas are available in UK, like UK visas?
The beauty is, for example, they can also go and set up a company there, and they have intra-company transfers, just like what we have in US called L1 visas. They also have that visas. And two religious workers, for example, if somebody, because it's a Christian country and Christianity is very prominent in UK, because it's a government religion, the kings and queens are all Christians kada, and it's next to Italy, so the Catholicism is also there. But అక్కడ because church plays a very vital role in politics in UK, because they advise the kings and queens there, and the priests and the pastors and bishops, they have a very prominent role there. So Christianity has a very big influence on the country. So anybody who was with a Christian background, they have the churches they can open up, and they can get work permits. R1 visa, it's also there. And if you see, it's highly, there's another skilled workers alone. For example, if you're a graduate from top universities, let's say Oxford or Cambridge or even Harvard or Columbia or Cornell, if you're a graduate from those universities, you can apply your own work permit, which is another beautiful thing, global talent visa. And the third thing is, for example, if you're a multinational, let us say in America, we have a company, చాలా మంది IT companies ఉన్నాయి, and these IT companies, they can establish in UK, and they can get their own work permit for the CEOs, అంటే global talent management visa అని ఉంది ఒకటి. So that is also, you can do it on your own sitting from here in US or any other country. That's another thing. ఇప్పుడు US లో ఎట్లయితే L1 లాగా ఉంటుంది, similar to that. And they have different types of visa, just like, fiancé visa, marrying a citizen there. Whatever US has, similar to that, they have. but there are more visas available for European nationals as well, and the European Union వాళ్ళకు కూడా, because of the British exited Brexit, so they also tightened visas for Europeans, but there are many different types of visas available in comparison with US, because it's a small country and they've ruled all over the world. They accommodate people. For example, people coming from Africa, they have some special provisions. People coming from India, let's say if you're a lawyer from India, you can also come and register yourself in England. So there are many professions have been recognized in UK because it ruled India and ruled many parts of the world. It's not as difficult as US getting into the system. That's another thing. So
So how
student
do
visas, work permits, everything similar to what we have in US. Yeah, I'm sorry.
no, the regulation seems to be relaxed than USA. So how do we apply for UK visas? How do we apply for it?
Similar to what we do in, for going to the embassy, fill up a form. You just have to basically go online and fill up a form. The fees are like expensive for visas, expensive. $650 a pound, sorry, your British pounds to 1400 and change British pounds. They're all paid in pounds. You can also do it. There are different types. And the beauty of UK is, for example, in US, if your visa is refused, you can go back to the embassy again with this circumstance, change in circumstances. But UK law, you can make an appeal. That's another beauty is there. You can appeal the decision of visa. I mean, it's called motion to reopen, but it's not that easy. But it's over there, it's a little more friendly. I mean, first of all, you need to have a passport. You need to have some financial support. You have to show, just like in US, you should have a. And one more thing, what UK has is tuberculosis certificate kavali. We don't have that in US requirement because India as was prominent in tuberculosis in the past. So they want that certificate that you don't have any tuberculosis, TB. US
Mm.
doesn't have that. And all that, and English proficiency is another thing they're looking at. US law, when let's say you're coming for a work visa in America, there is no requirement for English proficiency. For example, if you're going there to pursue in England, the English universities wants to see your proficiency in English. I think you can apply online. It's more friendly, and you don't have to go to the embassy. Put it in the box, make an application, and the visa is either rejected or approved. The passport comes to your house, which is more relaxed, I would say, than American thing. If you see American things, for another 6 months to 8 months, there are no availability of slots for US embassies. That is not there for UK. That's another beautiful thing. I liked it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So what are the eligibility requirements of a skilled worker visa?
And the similar what we have in US, you have to have a bachelor's or a master's degree. You have to have an employer. Akkada, for an employer, they need to have a certificate of sponsorship. Ani. It is a license. It is a permission given by the Department of Home. You have to acquire that. ఇప్పుడు the problem ఏమవుతుందంటే, if you see compared to America, anybody, even if you see some F1 guys or H1B guys or any Tom, Dick and Harry, they're incorporating a company and sponsoring people. In UK, that's not there. If you want to sponsor, you have to get a license to sponsor people. You have to be a British national. And you have to be just like an American. You have to be an American to sponsor this and to make you accountable. Not any Tom, Dick, and Harry come and open up a company and sponsor people at Ledu. They are making you accountable. That means the British guys' passport is involved. They know that there is a British person is the owner of the company. Only to them they give a license. ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడలాగా companies open చేసి అమెరికాలో you can file 30, 40, 50, 100 H1s. That's not the case in UK. There is some quota for every company. There's only 3 or 4 or 5. And it's highly regulated. They will see the company's background. They'll see the employer background. They'll see whether you have any contract. They will see everything before they approve a visa. But once you make an application, Nikalaga, there is no waiting period. There is no lottery system. There is no, you can apply for 50, 100 H1s. There's nothing like that. There's only quota. There's only few of them. So based on that, they will give you. And the company has to have credentials, and the British citizen has to have credentials, tax returns, they have to have contracts, everything. So all of that are required and yakada. So that's another beautiful thing in UK. So that means they're making accountable. It's not that anybody opens a company, sponsors them and closes them. And when the company is closing, they'll go after the employer, which is a British national. So there is no question of evading taxes. Or if America people are giving 2 to 3 jobs, they're paying salaries in India, they're doing all the money laundering. That is not there. The money laundering, if they do, if they get in caught, they have 10 to 20,000, 20 to 20 years in prison. And the financial laws are very stringent in UK. It's not like US. I mean, I'm not trying to compare with US and UK, but there are stringent laws. I mean, if you see in the past, if you see Rishi, who was the prime minister of the country, he was going on a push bike on a cycle with the immigration officers to arrest people in the shops. They come and arrest you in the shops if you're working illegally. Until the immigration enforcement is very, very strict. So it's not that easy. So that's another beautiful thing. So, I mean, they're trying to follow the law, and Ikalaga, millions of people, they are no out of status people. And they're clearly saying no more asylum. They're not taking any more asylums. They're kicking out a lot of people who are coming as refugees. They're sending them to a third other countries. So they're more stringent now because they're also struggling for, economically and financially and other things. And the new government has come, they're very stringent. So, I mean, there are good things and there are bad things, but once you comply the law, I think it's a friendly country. A lot of Bangladeshis, Pakistanis, Indians, they're doing extremely well. And the other thing is, solicitors are there. They're not more expensive as American attorneys. There are a lot of Indian solicitors, Bangladeshi, Pakistani, all countries. See, before coming to US, UK was prominent kada. London, everybody was going to London. If you see Gandhiji, Nehru, Andaru, they went to study law in they were practicing in England as a barristers as Lincoln Sinatla. So there are, Indians are there, and Pakistanis, Bangladeshis there for more than 100 years. So it's more, friendly than in America in terms of support system. So, I was happy. And I used to go back every year 4 or 5 times, but now the time has come, a lot of calls, a lot of requirements. So we started 2 offices, one in central London and one is in Leicestershire, which is about 100 miles from London. Akkada, we have some juniors, advocates. One gentleman, Ratan, is working with us now. He's finished his LLM. So he's taking care of it. These guys, if they want to become solicitors, they have to sign articles with the senior solicitors, and 4 or 5 years training kavali. They have to take the exam, pass the exam, then they have to have work permit. So it's a whole 9 years. It's an old orthodox English system. So there a couple of interns are there for me working. I mean, Naveen is there who's taking care of our marketing in Leicester and London. So we're doing good, Andy. We have signed some contracts for getting some jobs for some IT guys. We have signed some contracts with some companies where they can bring students to UK. And we have signed a contract with Educate Me. And they also train English, British English to various university students in all over India. So, a lot of things has happened in 1 week, 10 days when I was there in UK.
Okay. So how long does it take to get a UK visa?
Normally 4 to 6 weeks, Andy. 4 to 6 weeks, not more than that. Yeah.
And the cost for UK visa, what would be the cost?
As I said to you, £650 to £1,450. And it depends upon various categories, but that's the ballpark. I mean, they're all in pounds. I mean, pounds are more than the US dollar, and it's very expensive. For a student, it's cost about, £490. For a global talent visa, it's about £623. And for work visa, but 1,400-1,500 pounds. Different categories, spouse partner go to 1,500 pounds. You have to pay everything upfront through a credit card you can pay, and you also have to take in health insurance only. If you're going from other countries, they will also charge you some health insurance surcharge because the government system is national. health system, so you can go to the hospitals and get it. It's not like that, okay, the students vastaru, they don't have, many of them don't have an insurance. They don't allow you. You have to pay upfront for the schools for you to go and get a treatment for anybody who goes there. And so, that's another thing which is beautiful, because if you become sick in America, because I get a lot of calls in America, the students, they get shot by some people, crime authority, they get injured, they get accidents. And because they don't have money, they don't go to hospitals here because they don't have insurance. Because getting an insurance when you're going to school in this country is not mandatory. But in UK, you have to pay health insurance surcharge. You have to pay. It's bundled with the school fees. So when you go there, you have all those benefits. You can go to the hospitals and get the treatment done. So that's another beauty in UK.
So how to extend the visa for the UK visa, or how to apply for indefinite leave to remain?
Okay. You can change status from student status to tier work visa. And if you live in UK for 5 years, continuously paying the payroll taxes, you yourself can file for a PR and a green card. So that after 5 years, you can do that. And once you're approved, you stay in the country and get a British passport. So that is the process. And you can change from student visa to work visa, and then work to PR. And we call here a green card. Over there, it's called indefinite to leave. And you want to stay there permanently. And you can take the help of solicitors. There are a lot of people that are educated. They do their own applications online. The application process is very friendly. UK.gov, you'll know everything about the laws of that country, what an immigrant has to know. UK.gov. Because, see, we don't have something like that in America. Because somebody wants to buy a house or somebody wants to buy a business, you go into that and you will understand everything. Somebody wants to change your visa, it's there in UK.gov. So it's more friendly system. They can learn by themselves, do themselves, చేసుకోవచ్చు. But still people take the solicitor's help, and solicitors are also not that expensive what they're expensive in America, like attorneys. And the lawyers are solicitors antaru. And there are barristers. If you got any trouble, the barristers can represent you in the courts. Solicitors cannot do that. It's a diffuse profession. It's an expensive system, and a legal system is very expensive. It's not like US that attorneys can represent you in the court and they also do the chamber practice. It's called diffused profession in UK. It's expensive. Legal system is expensive when it goes to litigation, but otherwise they're affordable.
Okay. So what is the process for the international students who wanted to apply for UK?
Well, there are a lot of schools, they give admission, acceptance advice, and they want to see your English proficiency, of course. They want to see your financial documents. They want to see that you don't have any health problem. They want to see whether you don't have any criminal cases as against you, and a valid passport. So once you get that, you can go to UK, and you can also take your wife and children also. And they can also get work permit, and children can stay and study, get insurance and other things. Even for work permits, those who get tier 1 visa, tier 2 visa, they can also take their spouse and children. And once, for example, students, they go and get married, they can take their wife and children. So that's another thing. And even global talent visa, people, those who want to go from US also, all these IT companies, if they want to go and set up something, they can also do it. And they can do a registration of company sitting here, and they can get their, they can open bank accounts and transfer the money and set up companies, and they can also sponsor and do business in UK.
Okay, so like you said that even the whoever is working, they can get their families. So if they get their families, can the spouse, like here we have like EADs or something we have to apply. So the spouse can immediately start working in UK, or they need to wait?
Yes, they can immediately start working. That's a beauty. And they can immediately start working. You don't need, just like in America, we need an I-140 approval or anything like that. There's nothing like that. The students' wives can work, tier 2 work permit holders' wives can work, husbands can work, full time they can work, no problem.
Even for the students, do they require like OPT, CPT, like how in US, or is it like once they go and join in UK university, they can start working?
They have legally, they can work 20 hours outside. That's lawful. In US, they can only work in the campus, But over there, they can work outside. Students, 20 hours, they can work outside. There's no requirement of working in campus. And spouses of the students can also work full time. They have a right to work full time. They get national insurance number. They can work full time, no problem. And after master's degree, they can get a post work permit, just like US. They get it for 2 years. It is not called OPT. It is called post work permit after the education. And for STEM programmers and for a non-STEM also they can work. Yeah. And
So,
companies, when they get jobs, they get sponsorship or tier 2 visas, and they continue to live there for 2, 3 years and 5 years, and they themselves, and the employer doesn't have to sponsor you for a green card over there. That is the beauty. You yourself, you can apply on your own. Just like in Canada, you can apply on your own after you work for a certain number of years in UK. In Canada, you're entitled to apply for a permanent residency on your own. They will see basic English requirement, your funds available, and you don't have any criminal history, your medical history is clean, you work for a certain number of years, you can apply on your own. So that is the beauty of those countries. Yeah.
so can I switch from one visa to another visa while I'm in UK?
Yes, you can. You can apply, no problem. There's certain restriction, but you can apply. You can take the help of solicitors, they can do it. Yes.
So like if our visa gets refused, we can appeal. Like that's what you said, that here in US we cannot do it, but in UK we can
They can
easily
appeal.
appeal for it.
They can appeal
So,
the decisions. Yes.
so what do you take on UK visas, Kaveti garu? You also work in US law firms. You also do it in UK. So what is the major difference that you see between both?
US, when you see, I mean, we are not very conservative in US, but UK system is very conservative, and a lot of it's very tight. And the way we do it in America, it cannot be done UK because it's a small country, and they come from a old system, and British system is always very orthodox and old system, and they have set rules, and it's very rigid. They don't bend the rules. Discretion you cheru, but in US it's more discretion because America is based on a capitalistic society because they believe in business, they believe in creation of jobs, they believe in 190 countries people coming in and doing business and improve the economy. But British system is because king is the supreme, the queen is supreme, and parliament is there. They work under the certain guidelines, and it's a old rigid system, and they're not catching up with the West. The way the West and other countries are catching up, they're not catching up. It's an old rigid system. So that's another thing. See, when you practice law in England, when any client comes, we have to give them a client letter, the money is in the trust accounts, and we have to give the accounts to the clients. It's a more rigid system, and you cannot advise clients certain things. You have to get in touch with barristers. Only barristers can advise. Certain courts, solicitors cannot go. Only the barrister can go. It's an expensive system, and it's an old system. But ఇక్కడ చూసుకుంటే US law, it's called attorneys. They take care of everything, the client thing in the chamber and as well as in the court. It's more, I would say, more efficient in America. It's a little laid back. I mean, but the system works in that way. Manamu US నుంచి when you go, when you see the system, it's a different laid back system. Decision making is also very slow there because they're very laid back. It's not like US, we're working, people are working in America 6 days a week, 14 hours a day, alanti attitudes. They're very slow. That's a major difference.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kaveti garu, for taking your time, and hearty congratulations once again for your grand opening of 2 new branches in London. And thank you, viewers. This is Solicitor Kaveti garu taking his time to give us his legal advice or his suggestions on UK visas. And this is Priya Koteti signing off. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks, Amma Priya.